everybody, to another episode of Close the Gap. I'm your host, JR. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you guys again for leaving the comments, liking, and sharing. It's been a blessing. Thank you guys for being a part of this journey with me. It's been nothing but fun and excitement being able to have awesome guests. Again, don't forget to smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. But let's get to it. This gentleman to the left of me on this screen, or it could be on the right of your screen, it doesn't even matter. But the person on this screen, I've known him for a very long time. He is, in my opinion, and probably everybody else who knows him, a really great DJ, producer, father, friend, and just an all-around amazing gentleman. Again, I've known him and I had the pleasure of knowing him from humble beginnings, and having the pleasure to have him here is one of the best, an honor for me. But for no further ado, that's DJ J Buttah. Introduce yourself, homie. Well, I just did, but say hi to the people.
What's up? What's up? Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to people and hopefully shed some light and spread some knowledge out there for people that want to do what I do.
Yeah, bet. Nah, man, again, I appreciate you again for taking the time. So I start off the podcast with one question is, what part of being an entrepreneur busted your ass in the beginning?
I think one of the hardest things is you have to get into the mindset that in the beginning you have to do everything yourself. No one's going to come to your aid. No one's going to do things for you. You might get a couple of opportunities for people to help you, but a lot of things that come out in the beginning are pretty much you doing it on your own. So whatever input you put in is pretty much what your output is going to be. So the hardest thing is kind of like just keeping your mental space, keeping your sanity. Especially in the music business, you can go crazy because there's extreme highs and extreme lows. And sometimes you could be making money, then sometimes you go months without making any money. So I guess one of the hardest, I think I kind of like went all over the place. One of the hardest things is a couple things is you have to just be willing to do everything yourself down to the most mundane detail.
Right.
And the second thing is just, you have to be in a good mental space to deal with the extreme highs and lows.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. And I apologize because I should have done a better introduction for you, homie, because I've actually worked on this, and let me try this again. You DJ'd for BET The Basement. You were a judge on 106 in Park, Freestyle Fridays. And for all those that don't know what I'm talking about, and you might be a little younger, do your Googles, okay?
Yep.
Because this man has been around. You DJ and for the Redskins at their home parties, right? Not their home parties.
Did a tailgate. It was like a tailgate. It was like
tailgate. Yep, tailgate. And you are also a well-renowned producer. You produce tracks for Backgate.
Yep.
Right? Whom else? I want to say, did you do Jada? Kiss?
Uh-huh.
Jada Kiss?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm missing some I know there's an R&B. Help me out. Who did you do any R&B?
Yeah, Amani. There's a cat named Amani. If you're a Joe Budden's fan, he's always on Joe Budden's projects. And you miss Fat Joe too.
Yeah, I don't know how I forgot that. Yeah, Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Okay, so just in case for you guys wondering who this gentleman is, again, do your Googles. And he's the owner of Total Dynasty.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, kind of giving your resume. Let's start from the beginning, Buttah. How did you get started doing this? Because when I've met you, we were in high school.
Yeah.
And you were definitely a man of many talents, playing ball, and you also did band. Am I right?
Yeah, in the band. Yeah.
So I'll let you take it from here. Share with people how you got into it, or your humble or your beginnings, whatever you want to start off, wherever.
So I'll start off with DJing. I started DJing in like 7th grade. It really just being around my cousins. My cousins rapped like back in the day. And they were like running around with some Wu-Tang Clan affiliates and stuff. So I always knew like I wanted to be in the entertainment business. However, I couldn't rap or sing. So I was like, shoot, why not DJ? Because that
Okay.
was still like, when the DJ was at the forefront, when you got like uh Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff, Run DMC, and groups like that, like the DJ was like a main feature. So
Right.
I
Right.
figured out like I would just be this DJ. It is
Okay.
be a part of like a crew. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty much how I got started into it.
Okay. So let's give people some context. You're not messing with CDs at this time. We're
No,
talking
I was
about
vinyl. Yeah,
vinyl.
vinyl all day. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. We're talking about the real art of for me, my personal opinion, the real art of DJing,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, like you said, the history of hip hop is an MC and a DJ.
Yep.
Like your perfect example, Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff,
Yep.
Run DMC.
Hmm.
You know, the list can keep going. From very well known hip hop MCs had a DJ, like you said,
Yep.
as a forefront. All
Hmm.
right, so your cousins rap.
Hmm.
Do you remember your first album that you put on the turntable to try to mix or try to DJ?
One of the first songs I'll say I had was J Rue the Damager, Playing Yourself. Um,
Okay, all right.
a lot of people might not know that, but I mean J Rue, that was a DJ Premier produced record. I had that, and I had Big Pun, uh, Capital Punishment.
Yo,
I had
that was
that
my
on
shit.
wax too. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what got me like hooked on, DJing. Because the fun fact about me, I never went to CDs, so I went straight from vinyl to Serato. But I was like one of the last people holding on to make that digital switch to Serato. So like we were in the Serato age, and that was like when I was in college. I was probably back in like '02, '03.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
was still lugging around crates when people were slowly like migrating to the laptop because I didn't understand it. And then I don't know when I got on Serato, but I ended up buying the program. I think it was probably like 2004, 2005. And it's going from vinyl to Serato to using Serato with vinyl too.
So was that a how was that learning curve for you from
Um,
going from that?
it was interesting because at first I didn't like it because with anything new, like it takes like a getting used to period.
Yeah,
So like the transition was interesting because you had to organize all this music. You usually got your music from another DJ.
yeah. Mhm.
So you get his hard drive and you kind of have to like make sense of it to
Okay.
kind of like mimic like the crates that you have on vinyl. So
Right.
that took like it took about a week to do that. And then like as far as like the feel, you had to just get used to everything being looking at a screen the whole time versus like looking down at your marker on your record.
Yeah,
It
for
was just
sure.
different because like back in the day we had like cue points on records and stuff, so we would needle drop. Now you didn't really needle drop. You can just drop the needle wherever and push a shortcut function on the keyboard and be at the part that you want to be at.
Right.
So it's just a little bit different, just learning all the ins and outs and shortcuts. And I mean, I still don't know them all. Like I'm not like a Serato guru. I do what works for me on Serato. It's
Yeah,
like
and sometimes what works best for you doesn't necessarily mean works best for others, but as long as you can get the job done, right, and it sounds good, and especially as a DJ, keep the party going.
mm,
All right, so let's go back because I'm sorry, I'm everywhere sometimes. So let's rewind real quick back.
yeah.
All right, so what made you say while you was DJing? Because we're gonna jump into the producer side of your resume here in a little bit, but sticking with the DJ part, what made you say, "Yo, I can make some dough," or I want to do parties and charge? Like, what changed? What changed in your life, or what mindset did you take to be like, "All right, I want to do this"?
Um, it's funny. Like when I first started DJing, I really had no interest in DJing parties. I just wanted to be like a battle DJ.
Okay.
Like I was really heavy in like the battle culture and stuff, learning tricks and scratching and all that type of stuff. What got me wanting to charge and just kind of like make a business of it was partly my dad because he was like, hey, you can make money doing this. Then secondly, when people knew I DJ'd, people from high school started reaching out to me to like do parties and stuff.
Mm.
So I did this one party for this one kid. I think the first party I ever DJ'd, and it was in some little hall, some little rec center or clubhouse somewhere, and it was jam packed. It was hot, and the music was pumping and everything, and my speakers caught on fire. First party I ever DJ.
I think I remember the story.
Yeah. Speakers caught on fire. So I had to call my mom to come bring the house speakers so I can finish the gig. So it took like 45 minutes to an hour with no music. And the funny thing is, back then, like no one left. Like the kids just wanted to stay because they knew the party was going to be back on, but like no one left. So I had to finish the party with the house speakers. First party I ever DJ, my speakers caught on fire because I was pushing them too hard, basically.
Yo, you was trying to put out that heat. That's what you was trying. You was trying to get.
Yeah. Someone said, "Yo, did your speakers light up? Is that an effect? Yo, there's smoke coming from these speakers. That's a dope effect." And then all of a sudden, everything cut off. And you just see this little flame, this little flicker. Oh, I cooked my speakers. Yeah.
Like, nah, that ain't an effect, Toby.
Nah, ain't no
going up. Right. All right. So your first party, speakers go up.
Yeah.
What made you keep going? Because some people would stop. Some people be like, "Nah, I'm not doing this. This is too much."
I mean, it was a whole back. It was women in there, man. The show must go on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've always had like a good support system, like with my parents and like my musical endeavors.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Buttah's parents. Shout out to them.
Yeah, so I mean, called my mom and she stopped what she was doing to go throw some house speakers in the car and came back. It's just I just had to persevere through it because I couldn't just pack up and call it a day. Like I already got paid for a service, so I was really, I still am to this day. I'm really big on like customer service.
Yeah, that's what
because people always remember the experience that they had and the way you treated them.
Yes.
So I just tried to just, make it right. Like he contracted me to do a gig, so I had to finish the gig by any means necessary.
Because you still do gigs. Let's not get it twisted. You still do gigs. Now, do you find as this generation or whatever, do you find DJs not having that same sort of mindset of customer service? Is it more of like you paid me and I get to play whatever? Do you run into situations? Have you met people like that?
I think nowadays, I mean, there's still some DJs that that exemplify good customer service, but I feel like nowadays it's more like a hustle. It's just it's like quick fixes. If that makes sense. So I mean, I can't really speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself.
True.
But yeah, I mean, it really depends on the person.
Right. Okay. So how many hours did you practice like your craft? Like, you know what I'm saying? So at all, like I'm talking about the vinyl because I know. I mean, I haven't done it personally. Again, I just love hip hop, right? So I've seen documentaries. I mean, I grew up in hip hop and shit. Some of that's fast. You know what I'm saying? From going from one track to another, but intertwining it to where it sounds like one single track. You know what I'm saying? Probably going from a Rihanna to a Hove. You know what I'm saying? From a Hove to a Fat Joe to a Fat Joe to, and the list could go on. Did you practice? Were you at home with your headphones?
Yeah. Like, so the movie Juice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. Like in my room, I had my little DJ set up, kind of similar to this. It's just a little messy. And I had my headphones. So at night, I wouldn't just put the headphones on and practice. I would listen. I would watch my little DJ battle, my DMC battle tapes, and try to mimic what I saw. Or I would listen to I listen to a lot of Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff because Jeff would always cut on all of those albums. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I try to mimic the Transformer scratch, everything that Jeff did. I used to just try to mimic it.
I think he's a very underrated DJ. I think
he's one of the best. You don't want to Jeff and DJ Scratch from EP.
Yes. Agreed. I think what was the album where Jazzy Jeff had where it was like a few minutes of just him and a beat. I think it was forgot the album, but it was a pretty good. It was just showing his skills, and it was towards the end. But I mean, again, I think my personal opinion, a very slept on DJ and producer, honestly, because I think it was just him who produced that album for Will.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of production. Like Jazzy Jeff is different, man. Like
Yeah.
he's a Martian. Like when it comes to like the DJ.
No, agreed. No, I very much agreed. So I know, and like I said, we're bouncing everywhere, but you ended up on the radio, local radio, because you're in the DC area,
Mm-hmm.
right? How did you even get that gig?
Networking. Through Peace Stew. So Peace Stew, shout out to him. He gave me an opportunity to be on his show, the One Nation Hip Hop Show. So that was the show, the overnight hip hop show they used to have at like 2 a.m. after the club, where you go to hear like the underground hip hop or the new hip hop, like that's on the street level, like that hasn't made like mainstream yet. So he gave me an opportunity to DJ on his platform.
How
So
were
it
you
was from 2
networking?
to 6.
Who were you networking with during that time?
I was networking with some of the radio people because I think my man Kenny Bud introduced Peace Stew to me.
Okay.
So that's kind of like how it all came together. I don't exactly remember,
Right.
but yeah, there was some type of link with all of us basically. And
Okay.
it's one of those things where, right place, right time.
Yeah.
Right
No,
place,
I dig it.
right place, right time.
And the reason why I asked about the networking is because when some people hear networking,
Yeah,
they think just sliding into a DM. And nowadays,
I mean that's
could
kind of
be
what it is
networking.
nowadays. Yeah.
Nowadays, but but we're talking about the days where again, CDs were the thing. This was before SoundCloud hit, right? This is before, I think, even a little bit, right? If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, before Napster. Before
Napster was in high school.
Yeah, Napster was not. Yeah, Napster was in high school. So okay, we're getting into that digital phase right there of music being able to be downloaded.
Yeah.
All right, word. So then, what got you? What got that switch from being a DJ to then saying, "Yo, I want to make beats"?
Started in. So it's funny. I made one beat in high school on Brian's keyboard, going mess around in Brian's house in the basement.
Okay.
On one of his keyboards. And like I never really
Shout
thought
out to
anything
Brian.
of it or that. Yeah, shout out to Brian. I never really thought anything of it. It was just when I went to college and when I first got there, didn't have any DJ equipment. I had to leave all my equipment home because I wasn't like a dorm roommate situation, so there was really no room.
Right.
So all I had was a computer, and this dude named Jacob from Atlanta, forgot Jacob's last name. He told me about this program called Fruity Loops, and he put it on my computer, and that's when I started. And I was just addicted after that. I was just making terrible beats, and I was just addicted to it. But I guess what helped me is I have a musical background from being in band and stuff and playing instruments and stuff.
What instruments did you play?
Any brass instrument other than trombone and drums.
Right. Okay. So then, all right. So now you're DJing and you're making beats.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we kind of see, because it's crazy how your it's very interesting. I've never shared this with you, but I follow you, my boy, right? So I do my best to try to follow my friends' paths.
Yeah.
But your DJing path is going straight, like one direction, and you're producing and going another direction, but you're keeping them like in line. How did you balance? How do you balance that? Because you're making beats for you, all of a sudden you blow up, you become better making beats, right? And you're doing things in studios and you're still DJing. How do you still balance that?
So DJing and producing kind of go hand in hand because they're both rhythm-based tasks.
Okay.
So being a DJ actually helps me be a better producer.
Okay.
So producing is weird because sometimes like the most talented musician doesn't make the best beats. Sometimes their beats aren't good because they process music differently and they feel like something has to be theoretically correct for it to make sense, like musically.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what makes like Swiss Beats so dope. He's not like the super musically inclined person, like instrument wise. He's not gonna
Okay.
wow you. He's not some prodigy that's playing every instrument.
Right.
Swiss he knows tempo, rhythm, and groove, man. And he just knows how to put his stuff together to make you move. Like that's the point. Like he understands like the formula of how music works in a certain setting. That's what makes him so dope.
So then I'm assuming because you were in that dorm room and you didn't have your DJ equipment,
Yeah.
you had the time to practice making beats. Like you said, you just spent a lot of time behind with Fruity Loops making beats, right?
Mhm.
What did you use? Because I know Fruity Loops is I'm losing my train of thought. MP3 triggered.
Yeah. I mean, it's a computer software. So
What did you
before I
use at
had a
that time?
a sound card, I was just using a mouse and just clicking everything.
All right.
Once you get a sound card, then you can hook up a MIDI keyboard
Yep.
piano to it and just play into it.
Okay.
But before that, I was just clicking everything. But the funny thing is, like since I started like that, even if I have a MIDI piano, I do have a MIDI piano as what you see here.
Hmm.
I still like I'll play my idea, and instead of like recording it, I'll just click it in.
So you
It
still
takes
revert
forever.
back to what you were
It
doing.
takes forever, but that's just how I learn.
Yeah. Right.
So I'll like play the idea that I want and then like draw it in.
Okay.
It like really throws people off like when they see me do that because like when you listen to it, it sounds like I play the piano like fluid, but I don't.
Right.
The way that I hear music. I hear music like like cheese going through a cheese grater, how it splits apart.
Yep.
I can hear every note individually
Yeah, that's
inside.
a good example,
That's
bro.
just how I hear it.
That's a good analogy. Real good analogy. I like that. Yeah. So, all right. Now, explain to me how did you even how did you was like, yo, this beat's hot. I need. How the hell did you get people to listen to it? That's the first question.
Um, start off just playing it for your friends, and this it really goes back to your network. See, in college, I built like a really, really strong network of people.
All right.
Like a lot of people don't know, my neighbor in college was Rico Love.
Get out of here. You
Yeah, he
lying?
lived right across the street from me. He used to come over my house and rap and everything, man. This is when
That,
Rico was rapping.
dang.
And
I never knew that.
yeah, I went to college with Kay Michelle too. She was
Really?
there when I was there too. She went to fam, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because you went to fam. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely
yeah.
remember the
Rico went to
time that I
fam.
visit.
I remember when Rico left. When he left fam because he signed with Usher. I remember that. Like he just packed up and got out of there and moved to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Here is this kid from Milwaukee. That's where Rico's from. I remember him like vividly. He could rap his ass off too.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So then, like, he started venturing off into songwriting with Usher.
Right.
And the way he got into that was like he needed money, ran out of money.
Yeah.
Usher gave him a shot, like, hey man, write me a song. And he wrote Throwback on Confessions. That was
Ooh.
his first break. So yeah, I went to school with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just
Yeah.
crazy just to see Rico, your neighbor, to Rico Love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
Like
Right. Exactly.
it was just crazy, man.
So then, what was Buttah's first break?
I would say the first song that I ever placed on the independent level was by Fats and Billy Bathgate, a song called "I Got That Work Here." I sampled like a Nextel chirp and made a beat. That was like the first song I've ever like placed. Then like my first like major artist placement was Fat Joe. Is the
Okay.
way that I met him at my friend's house. So my friends in New York, um, so backstory. So
Yeah.
there was a guy named Tim Martin who he sold all the rappers to Escalades. He owned one of the biggest Cadillac dealerships in the United States. Every rapper got their truck from him. He was
All
like
right.
the Jacob the jeweler for Escalade. Like you remember back on MTV Cribs, when Ja Rule had the Escalade with the TVs in the dash.
Yes, sir.
I
Yep.
seen that Escalade. He tried to sell me that same Escalade.
He tried to sell you that Escalade.
Yeah. Yeah, but he got it from him. So he would have like these get-togethers, and famous people would just show up. So he had a cookout at his house, like an impromptu cookout. I used to
Right.
go visit them. I used to just hang out with them to party. Like they would have me come up just to go to the club.
Just to chill.
Yes. They were rich for real. It was different type of money.
It was different type. Their pockets was long. It was deep pockets.
So and Fat Joe was their neighbor at the time. So
okay.
Fat Joe just ended up there, and like me being who I am, I just ran up on him. He always knew me through them, but he never knew I made beats. You know what I'm saying? I would always do Joe all the time. Go out to dinner and everything. He never knew I made beats. So I ran up on him, and I had my little laptop speakers, right?
All right.
Sitting at a table, and I just started playing beats on him, and he picked the Blackout beat, which ended up being on Jose too. So that's how that happened. So it's just right place and right time. Like that's really what it is. Like I didn't send any music to an A&R. I didn't have to do that.
Right. You like you said, but you took the time to network with people, right?
Yes.
You weren't like a hermit crab.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, because some people, like I said, with networking, especially with networking, and I had an issue with that too. It's you become a hermit crab, right? And you only network with people that you feel comfortable with, right? But being in college, and like you said, your neighbor who just so that you didn't know who he was gonna be.
Yeah.
You allowed him into your crib and you let him listen to some beats because technically he could have came over there and was like, "Yo, you're whack," or you could have been like, "Nah, I don't do beats." You get what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna hold these beats, to myself and keep them. I mean, you and I know, and that's everywhere around the world. There's basement rappers and basement producers, right? That don't want to share nothing. Because they're either afraid of the criticism, afraid of whatever they're afraid of, just fear. Fear holds them back. And I think with that fear, the networking doesn't affects that. Affects it because what are you going to network for?
A lot of people, and I saw Issa Rae say this. A lot of people are so focused on networking up versus networking to the left and to the right of you, like lateral networking.
Wow.
Everyone's trying to just go to the shooting star versus like network with someone on your level.
Wow.
You don't know who they're right. And that when she said that, I think about 2 years ago, that really like changed just my perspective. Because I've been that person trying to look for that rocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Trying to go for that rocket, trying to hit the home run.
Sure.
It doesn't really work like that. There's really levels. I know it sounds cool because Meek Mill said it in the song. It's the truth.
There's levels.
There really is, man.
No, there is.
There really is.
There really is. And I think, and you make such a great point, man. People definitely shoot up.
Yes.
Network up. But yeah, exactly. Who's your man's to the left? Who's your people's to the right? You don't know he might know somebody.
Right.
But just because he's not the man, the plug.
Not interested.
Yeah, you're not interested in talking to him because he's not. You think he's not the plug when he is the plug. You just don't know. All right. So let's go back to DJing because you're still doing that.
Yeah.
During that time. So, what was your big break in DJing?
I feel like getting on the radio because back then, like that was like everything.
That was it.
Yeah,
I still remember hearing you on the radio. Still remember hearing you, bro. The first time, I was like, I know that dude. Like, I legitly know him, dude. I still remember one of the parties that we went to. I think for sure I did help you carry crates of records to the party.
Yeah, probably.
And the only reason why I went because there was youngins at the party.
Yeah, it was always listen, man. When I did them team parties, man, when we was kids, it was always joints there.
Always.
Always. From
Always.
different schools. Like they found their way. Ain't nobody had no car or nothing, but they found their way. Yeah.
That's a fact.
It was always joints there.
There wasn't many of us that had cars, but we
Mhm.
ended up being at the party. And if Buttah's DJing, the party was coming out. All right. So the radio was your biggest thing, but I really want to concentrate on on the service part of DJing because you have different clients. You do
Yeah.
weddings,
Yeah.
you do parties.
Yeah.
Besides financially, what why does Buttah still do that? And rather not concentrate on just continuing to make beats and hopefully you continue to get, use your networking to, you know, to I guess to continue that route.
Because DJing keeps me sharp and abreast of like what's going on.
Okay.
Basically, it actually helps me as a producer. It's like doing your homework because you can sit here and be in like producer world
Hmm.
and shut the outside world out and have no idea what's going on. And you can and like I see it two ways.
All right.
It's a good thing because you can do that and be in producer world and
Hmm.
really hone the sound because you don't have any outside influences.
Okay.
But then like in I guess being a DJ, still doing like the weddings and stuff because people I still have clients that want to book me. So I still just try to just service my customers because I mean it's not just about the money. It's just about like it's your brand, it's your reputation. So and I get a lot of business that I get is all referral business. Like I'm not advertising it.
Right.
Hey, I was at this party and you did a good job. Can you DJ this for me? Or
Right.
hey, my
Right.
friend said that you did her wedding and you did a really good job. I'm getting married this day. Can you do that?
Right.
Like that's really how it is. I don't advertise it. I should, but I just don't.
Right. I mean, word of mouth is strong, and your work speaks for itself. I mean, being that I've witnessed and been in a few of events where you professionally, I'm not saying that you weren't when we were younger, but
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
events that you showed out. The brand you talked about building a brand.
Yeah.
What made you do Total Dynasty?
Um. Well, so it happened in college because a guy that I went to school with named Ewan Anderson, who passed away a couple years ago.
Mm.
He's the one. He was always like the business mind. He was always like, "Yo, man, you do all this stuff. You need to start a business and funnel everything through your business."
Okay.
Like, basically, it's about going legit because I was still doing like homeboy hookup business. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Versus like getting an EIN. He got an EIN for me. He opened up a business checking account for me.
For those that don't know what an EIN stands for, so tell them what that is.
It's a business tax ID number. So it's like a social security number for your business.
Need that shit when you do your taxes
Yep.
and just anything for real to circle everything back to the business.
Yeah. So he was just like, you are a businessman. Why not treat this like a business? So he was really business minded and really wanted me to like really like embrace my entrepreneurial side, basically.
Okay.
Like you're an entrepreneur, whether you realize it or not, even though you're doing something you love to do, you
Right.
need to funnel it all through a business and go legit. So it was because of him.
Okay. And then so from there, when you say funnel everything, I'm assuming DJ and producing all underneath one umbrella.
Correct.
Okay. Dope. That's real dope. Um, so help people. So let's fast forward to now, right? Because we're in 2020.
Mhm.
Where do you feel as being a producer and a DJ has music fallen within that whole digital space,
Mhm.
right? So meaning, do the DJs now, if you want to get heard, you can. I mean, wouldn't you agree? You could just put yourself on YouTube and then
Yeah.
SoundCloud, right? How do you feel those? Has that damaged the art of DJing and producing? How do you feel
No,
about
it
that?
actually No, like so the digital age, the cool thing about it is it leveled the playing field.
Hmm.
Like you don't have to know somebody to get your stuff out. You can just put it out yourself.
Right.
Like there's no excuses now.
I like that. There is no excuses.
There's no excuses now. Like you can't be like, well, yeah, I'm only local, I'm unknown. Well, you know what I'm saying? Just put your product out there and work. Like that's what you have to do.
Right. No, I agree with you. And I just wanted to get your point of view because I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what field you're in. There's really no excuse,
Nope.
right? Whether it's podcasting, DJing, singing, rapping, fucking playing the guitar, it doesn't matter. If you really want to be seen and heard, um, the internet, right? It's where it's been. How has Instagram and Facebook and all those social medias affected, not in a positive way or negative way, whatever you want to share, your Total Dynasty, your brand? How have you been leveraging that?
It allows me just to post like what I'm doing and what I've done. So it's
Okay.
kind of like it's like having a website, but like instead of having to pay for like SEO, like which is search engine optimization,
Yep.
you're in a network where there's already people there. All they have to do is just find you through somebody in their network. It's
Right.
like a spider web.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's like a spider web. So
So, have you gotten any clients in regard into both, either one producing or DJing from
yeah,
that?
so it's funny. So I've gotten a lot of stuff production wise from Instagram from old work. They're like, people have been trying to like track me down and they finally have. Then like it's DJing, like especially with if somebody say if I DJ something like a step show when they hashtag it,
Right.
like people can see the event and I get tagged in it, then there's the 3 degrees of separation. Like, hey, you DJ this event, can you DJ my event? So you can get it that way. I can admit though, like I'm not the most active person on social media
Hmm.
because this is, there's really no excuse. It's just not what I do. Like I don't really put that much stock into it like I should.
Right. We're in a different generation though, Jay. Same
Yeah,
time.
because I'm not gonna do some corny shit for attention. Like I'm not
Facts.
gonna like, go to a store and knock everything off the shelves or like pour liquor on butt naked women like for
Yeah.
attention. Like, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
So I guess for me, and then again, because my background is digital marketing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I do, and I enjoy watching, especially Swiss Beats and now Timberland. Timberland is a really good example of somebody who sits in front, puts the like his phone out, and you can hear him make a beat,
Yeah.
right? I enjoy seeing that as a fan,
Yeah.
of music, and definitely just having that inside look.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Have you ever thought about doing that personally, like giving people an inside look of like DJ Butter, the DJ or the producer or even both?
Yeah, it's funny, like everybody says that to me. You need to do that. Why don't you videotape yourself making a beat or something? But
Right.
I don't know. I just don't do it.
It's just
Because
what
like
it
my
is.
process is different. Like Timberland's really quick. Like I'm not quick. Like I'll spend hours just trying to find like the perfect snare drum sound. So like it
Okay.
would have to be time lapse. Like you know what I
Right.
mean? Like in
No,
real
but I'm
time.
glad you're sharing that though, Jay. So
Yeah.
so explain. It's okay, right, to be that way, right? I mean, you
Right.
don't
I don't
have.
make 5 minute beats. I wish I did. I wish I was a lot faster. But it's partly my OCD. Like I'm very particular about how my stuff sounds, and I try to just explore all the time to explore something different. I don't have like a go-to kit
Yeah.
like a lot of producers have. Like they're like, you know what? All the instruments are gonna come from this folder here.
Right.
So it's just like you kind of like end up recycling the same thing over and over and over again, making different variations of the same thing. I'm one of those people. I try to do something different every time. It's the gift and the curse because sometimes I get in my own way.
Yeah. Sure.
'Cause and this is one of the things I need to work on about myself. Like I have to be satisfied with hitting a base hit versus like trying to hit a home run.
Mm.
Because I'm one of those people that when I get up on, the keys and stuff. I'm trying to hit a home run every time.
You trying to get
But
you right?
sometimes,
Go
huh?
ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but sometimes like I hinder my own progress because I'm in my head and I'm in my own way. So
Right.
that's like one of the things that I have to like work on. Just kind of like moving out of my own way. Because I'm such like, if I don't like something, the world will never hear it. But the thing is, it's just my opinion. Maybe
That
the
is
next
just
person might like it.
facts.
And
Yes.
people have always told me that, like, hey man, you gotta save everything. But if I don't like something, like you'll never hear it. But I have to
Yeah.
like work on
Yeah. No, and I don't, and it's fine because I guess I've been around, I guess you long enough, and different producers long enough, and musicians long enough, and that's and artists. That's how they feel. I'm going to be like all those people that tell you, put that shit out
it.
because your opinion, you're the one in there. You're going to be the most. You have the most critical eye on your own work. Please, as a fan of DJ Buttah, put that shit out. I'm trying to hear it for my own selfish reasons. But I'm going to hit you with this question.
Mhm.
Top 5 producers, no particular order. Who's yours?
The Neptunes, Just Blaze, Teddy Riley, Quincy Jones, DJ Quick, Dr. Dre.
Ooh, dang, strong. Top 5 artists that are alive.
Um,
And
Michael
don't matter.
Jackson, Prince, James Brown, uh, Tupac, and probably Jay Z.
Okay.
Jay
Yo,
Z and
that's,
Biggie. Jay Z and Biggie. Biggie only gave us 2 albums.
he did only give us
He
2
only
albums.
gave us 2 albums. However, they were both classics.
100%.
100%
100%.
classics. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that body of work for
Yeah.
2 albums,
Yeah. It's impressive.
it's very impressive.
A lot of people can't
Even
do it.
artists now can't pull that off. Okay. Yo, that's a very strong list. All right, Butter. So what suggestions would you give somebody stepping into either DJing or producing? Doesn't matter the lane, especially now. What is your advice for somebody who's trying to get themselves out? I know we kind of touched a little bit on it, but again, if you don't mind, just kind of sharing what your advice would be for somebody who's trying to get their music out or their talent out.
Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Consistency is key.
And when you say consistency, what does that look like?
Like, if you want to be a producer, you need to always be putting out content, like all the time. Work hard at your craft. Always be creating, basically.
Okay.
That's a lot of like that's the problem with like a lot of artists, and I have this problem myself. It's just like you kind of work in sports, basically. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? And I guess when
Yeah.
inspiration hits, but in today's age, it's out of sight, out of mind.
That's a fact.
So
Right.
you have to always be constantly working and putting out content. That'll
Now,
be my advice. Anything.
do you feel because you're absolutely right. So let's talk about people kind of drive home like your point. Like even with albums now, back in the day, you listen to an album once, it's not considered a classic
Right.
or not considered a dud.
Yeah.
But now, if you drop an album and the album dropped at 12 p.m.,
Yeah.
people can call your shit a dud by 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So
but those people, like, you can't really like hold stock in
no,
what they're saying because
you cannot.
they're saying something just to get a reaction on the end.
Yes, that I agree. But for somebody coming into the game, right? Some of those critiques can put a dent in your armor for
So
some.
what? So what? Don't listen to it.
Exactly.
Like,
I agree with you. Don't listen to that
so
shit.
what? No, yeah, you gotta have tough skin. If you don't have tough skin, this business will eat you alive.
Mm.
Like, I
Talk to
still
him.
get rejected to this day. Like it's a million no's to get to one yes.
Talk to him. Yeah.
So, I mean, and you hear this all the time in all these little motivational speeches and all this other shit, but it's true. Like we're in the rejection business.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of it like a woman, like a woman, like your wife now. If you would have asked her to marry you on your first date, you think she would have said yeah?
Nah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a process. You have to just keep working at it, keep chiseling away at the rock, man.
Right.
Like take the nose as okay, it's just not for you. All right, I'm gonna come back for something that you do like. You
I
know,
think
a lot of people like don't get so discouraged because people don't like your stuff right now. Maybe your
mm-hmm.
sound is like ahead of the curve, like ahead of where they are now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
Because like, here's a fun fact: every beat that I ever sold was a beat that I made between 3 and 5 years ago.
Mm.
It
Right.
wasn't like the beat I made yesterday and they bought that. No,
No.
it's
Right.
always an old beat. Everything I ever placed was an old beat.
Right.
Everything.
But you never lost faith, and you knew it was fire,
Yeah.
and eventually someone was going to, catch that vibe.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be right. So I like that, and I'm glad you shared that, right? Because although you're trying to hit the home run every time you are behind the keys, and that's just not for you, it's for anybody and everybody, is it's all good. Like even if it sits for 3 years and you display it to somebody or two or four, it don't even matter. It might catch, right? I mean, the vibe might be there. So real
Yeah.
quickly, how many hours did you put working on? It could be Total Dynasty, producing, or DJing. Actually, because you do a lot. How many hours did you put into, we'll just say, Total Dynasty in general?
Um, 10,000 hours, I guess. Because that's the answer. I don't know how to quantify it.
You put a lot of hours.
Yeah, yeah,
Put some work into it.
yeah.
How has being an entrepreneur affected your family life?
It's a lot of sacrifice because, like, when my kids were little, I missed a lot because I was always gone. I was out, chasing a dream.
Hmm.
But now, like, being an entrepreneur, as far as like my family, I'm doing it for them.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to figure out how to navigate in this system to make it that if they want to, they can work it or they'll never have to like work or put up with the stupid shit that I had to put up with. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
You're always trying to do better. You're always trying to give them better than you know
Dame
what you have.
Dash said it the best. You hustling for your last name, not your
Yeah.
first.
Nah,
Dame
facts.
said it the best, yo.
Nah, facts. Yeah, and that's regardless of what people say. He's still a goat when it comes down to being a businessman.
Nah, Dame is a genius, man. I just think a lot of people just don't really they try to like write him off like he's nuts because his delivery isn't the best. The presentation isn't the best.
Right.
But he's passionate. Like I don't take it. Everybody always thinks he's like angry and kirking out. No, he's
No.
passionate.
Right. I
You know
mean,
what I'm
you're supposed to be passionate about what you do, right?
saying?
Like,
Yeah, he's not here for the shit.
no,
Like,
exactly. Like you said that you was into to the battle, DJ battle. If
mhm.
you went in there thinking you weren't the shit, why are you in there for? Right? Same as rap, same as R&B. If you didn't feel like you're the shit and you don't have passion for it, why are you in it? Because I
Right.
think,
And to go back on like the rejection story, right? When I was just talking about like, being rejected,
mm-hmm,
the whole reason like Rockefeller started because they went out chasing the deal and everybody was telling no, Jay-Z, no, 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 no. So they
yeah,
just went and started their own shit.
yep, that's a fact. Yeah,
But
because that's what they said.
Jay,
He said they rap too fast. Ain't nobody gonna try to.
yeah,
No
like
one
they
wanted to
trying to
hear
say
that.
Jay was whack, man.
Yeah,
Back then, like
back then,
Jay wasn't whack. It's just
no,
they didn't understand it.
right.
So
They
it was like,
weren't
you
with
know
it.
what? We got money. We're gonna go put our money up and just get things shaken ourselves. And that's another thing. Like as an entrepreneur, you cannot be afraid to invest yourself. You got to put your money up. Don't buy
Yeah,
all this
talk that
stupid
shit,
shit
Jay.
for
Talk
like
it.
image, but you got to put your own bread up, man. You're not. Dame Dash says it best. Like I love Dame Dash. Like you're not a boss if you don't put your own money up. You're
That's a
really
fact.
not.
That's a fact. If
You're
you
not.
can't invest in yourself, then who's gonna invest in you?
Right. You want somebody. You just waiting for a bag to just fall off the
Right.
sky, or you're waiting for some athlete to come say, "Hey, yo, here's 300,000." Because I've been a part of those situations too.
Right. Yeah, speak on it.
Athlete with the bag. I just seen. I ain't gonna name him, but I've been in a situation with an athlete trying to break an artist, and that athlete spent close to $500,000, and nothing ever materialized from it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's real, man.
Now you got to invest in yourself, man. I mean, even with this, like the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I invested in mics and camera and shit. But if I didn't invest in it, then I had no belief system that this would work.
Correct.
I still don't know if this shit's going to work,
No,
but
you gotta just do it, and you gotta just do it and put the work out there. And
yeah. But I have a passion for it. I enjoy being able to talk to people that I know or I don't know, but just being able to have these type of discussions with people intrigues me, right? Because shit, if it intrigues me, hopefully it might intrigue somebody else. But the real goal is to have somebody listening to it, take some shit out of it, to be able to chase that dream, regardless of whether it's going to be a producer, DJ, a barber, a lawyer. It don't even matter, right?
Mhm.
It's just having that opportunity, and again, just working out of passion. But speaking of passion, what motivates you, bro? What keeps you going, bro?
It's like like when artists say like the funnest time in the music business is when you're coming up.
Yeah,
It's like that feeling because I haven't like had that big Jay Buttah moment yet.
yeah,
So it's just the I guess it's just the thought that like any day now anything can happen. You know
pop.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And like to be honest, like my motivation is my family, man, our kids,
mm,
for sure,
yeah, facts.
for sure, man. Like them, like I'm doing it for them because they're gonna get older and they're gonna need shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right,
And
right.
I want to be able to give them the same opportunities that my parents gave to me.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. I'm with you with that. What's your greatest fear, and how do you manage fear?
My greatest fear is just not performing, like getting an opportunity and like really dropping the ball.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
and how I manage it is I don't know. I just try to just show up. Basically,
Yeah. Right.
that's all you can really do is just show up.
Like an athlete, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
you gotta just show up.
yeah, just show up, right? You practice, and then the more you practice, that fear goes away when it's time to show up, like either in a crowd or in a studio with an artist or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can dig it. I dig that.
'Cause Mike Tyson, he was terrified before every fight.
Yeah.
Right, Mike Tyson.
Right. He was
But
knocking
he had
down
a
out.
job to do. He had a job to do. He said he was terrified at every
Yeah.
fight.
He's also another one too, man. I like watching his podcast and hearing his journey that he had.
He get on there and tell the truth. That's why, man.
Yeah.
Get up there and tell the truth.
No, that's a fact. Hey, how do you define success?
Not monetary.
Okay.
Success isn't monetary. Success is having peace of mind, to be honest with you. Like you can't put a price tag on that peace of mind, especially with all this crazy shit going on, all the outside influence.
Mhm.
Success is being comfortable in your own skin.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's how I define success. It ain't having the big house, the car, the rollie, the jewelry, the supermodel wife. That's not success, man. Success is having this together because you can have all that money and still not have this together. And that's why you always see the people that say they have money. Yeah, money doesn't mean everything. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that
buy
make you
you happiness.
happy. Yeah.
You feel like that when you don't have any money. Like, yo, if I had 50 M's, man, what I would do? But you you'd have so much money that you're still bored. If that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yeah. No. Hell yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
I
what I'm
think you
saying?
mentioned it
So,
earlier about mental health. I know that's a big topic. You know what I'm saying? But
for
I
sure,
mean,
man.
It's true. It is
Everybody
100%
shit with
true.
them. Everybody.
Right. Yeah, it affects. It doesn't matter color, skin, race, or age or nothing. Mental health is. It just. It affects everyone. Right. And I no, I agree with you, man. I like that. So, do you believe there's some sort of pattern or formula to become a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, well, I believe so. I don't know what that formula is,
Right.
but if you follow successful entrepreneurs, and I'm talking about millionaires, billionaires, they're very routine people. Like they kind of like fit into a mold, like the way that they go about their day. They're very systematic and structured people. They don't waste time.
Right.
They
Time
do not
management is like
waste time.
the key.
Yep.
Um, what's your favorite aspect about being an entrepreneur?
Just writing your own ticket, man. Like,
Hmm.
you get to, you don't have to ask anybody, like, yo, can I take off? Yo, can I go take my kid to the doctor? Or I want to go to an event. Is it okay if I go? Like, you kind of just write your own ticket.
Right.
You get to do something that you love to do. Like, it doesn't really feel like work when you love to do it. I know it's such a like cliche statement, but it's true.
Nah, it's super true, right? You get to be the
You get
author of your own.
paid to have fun. Like that's success.
Nah,
You're
that
getting
is
paid to
success.
have fun.
No, agreed. Agreed, 100%. Um, so let's get into some advice before we leave. Because again, I want people to go ahead and take something away to hopefully get over that hump, that fear, or whatever that they might be having or facing. To start, really going after their dreams. Um, what would you say are the top three skills needed, in this, in your particular field,
Um,
or even just becoming being a successful entrepreneur? Honestly.
um, skills. I say attributes. Resilience. You have
Okay.
to be resilient.
Okay.
You have to be focused, and you have to be structured.
Okay.
Like I
All
think
right.
those are like the top three that I can think of the top off the top of my head.
No, I think those are the really big, you know, big keys because that focus part, especially,
Because there's so much
sometimes that
outside
shit can
noise.
get blurred.
So much outside noise.
Hell yeah, especially what I'm saying, and I mean, we all see it, especially with Instagram. People think just because
Lit
some
on
person got like a Ferrari or whatever, or on a vacation, they happy, but you don't know their true story, right? And that shit can fuck up your focus because it's blurring the lines for some. But I agree with you, man. Focus is definitely a key. What entrepreneur tricks have you discovered to keep yourself focused?
Writing things down.
Mm,
You see, like I have a vision board, not vision board, but I have a whiteboard behind me, so all of my ideas, I write them down
pen to
and put
pad, right?
and put like dates by them. Like I give myself like tasks basically.
Right.
So it's just really just being organized, time management. But I guess writing things down
I like it.
and coming up with a plan to achieve like the goals that you set for yourself. That's another thing. 'Cause you can always ask them like, yeah, what are your goals? And they'll rattle off 3 to 5 things that have no
Yeah.
idea how to get there.
Right.
Yeah, these are just my goals. Okay, so this is gonna fall in your lap, right?
Exactly. You don't have no vision, no
No
deadline or
plan of
nothing.
action.
It just comes. I mean, it's such a I don't know what it's like a it's uh quick gratification that people are looking for. You know what I'm saying? It's like not no more putting the work in, no more getting your hands dirty, right? It's that quick gratification. It's how many likes can I get? You know what I mean? To how many people double tap my shit? You know what I mean? Um, what what key activities would you recommend inspiring business owners to invest their time in?
Reading.
Reading,
Reading,
like what?
read books about in the field that you're interested in. Read entrepreneur entrepreneurial books,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
So you can see like the plight and challenges of people that are just like you but found out how to become successful in their designated fields.
Mm-hmm.
So I say reading and study, man. Like study and come up with a routine. Your routine should almost be like a mantra, however you say that word, like a mantra.
Mantra. Yeah, we'll go with mantra. Yeah. So, who's Jay? What's Jay reading? What's Buttah listening to in order to keep his mind sharp?
I listen to a lot of like podcasts. So I listen to a lot of like I guess anytime Dame Dash talks, I listen to it because he's always giving away jewelry. I listen to a lot. I listen to Master P a lot because he drops so much free jewelry, man.
I'm so glad you said that.
So underappreciated, man.
Yeah, big facts, dude.
I would love to meet P, man.
Yo, Master P, man. Hearing him speak for the last few years, and especially now recently because he's becoming a lot more vocal about like his businesses, how he's done it, and how he wants to bring people together. And Master P had dropped so much jewels and great tips for any inspiring entrepreneur. Yo, I'm so glad you said that. I thought I was the only one because I stayed watching his stuff.
I would love to have like a conversation with P, not even about music, man, just about like life. And like this dude, man, he's lived 15, 20 lives, man.
Yes, and still doing it too, and still being super active about chasing his dream.
I listen to a lot of Grant Cardone too. He's hilarious.
I like him too. Yeah. I definitely
too, though, man. He's relatable.
He is. I got his book, Power of Times 10, something like that. He had a little book that was super powerful and, like you said, super relatable and very easy. But that's the point. Like, there's shit out there that's not crazy because I'm not a reader, but there's podcasts, there's people that you can listen to that can inspire. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you've done. For me, just listening to you is like just inspire. So, and hopefully people can get. I know people are gonna get that same feeling. So Buttah, what's the next? What's next? What's next for Buttah?
So I'm launching a website, jbuttahbeats.com. That's JBUTTAH beats with an S.
Okay.
And I'm selling beats. It's like not the Netflix. It's like I'm selling beats to like regular people.
All right. Yeah, I feel you.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people that always wanted to like work with me, but like couldn't get me.
Right.
Now, like I'm doing it like affordable. Like anybody can afford it. I'm selling beats on there for $29.
Get at him, y'all. Get at him.
Yeah. Like, and it's not like throwaway beats. It's just dope stuff. I'm just starting to just unload some of this catalog that I've been hoarding over the years. I'm just giving like artists an opportunity to get their demos together and get their projects together and go get some attention on it. So
yeah, I think that's a really good idea, man. I think that's a really good move because we're OGs. We're old. You get what I'm saying? We're not young. Yeah. We're not washed. We're just not new. But being able to give something back like that, Jay, that's honorable, man. And I think that's really good, man. And, I wish you the best of luck with that.
Like that's been like my main thing. So I'm like building this website myself, and I haven't like launched it completely yet. But then you can go to it and see the music that I have on there. Like it's there. I just haven't really like jumped out there and promoted it because I'm trying to get like the YouTube and everything together. So it's just to do like a really big push. So
that's gonna be great, man. Well, let me know if I can be any of assistance, man. I'll be love to help in any way I can. You know what I'm saying, to push that movement. So Buttah, how can people get at you? What's the IG, what's the Facebook, what's the Twitter, what's all that?
So Twitter and Instagram is DJ J Buttah, DJ J Buttah, that's J for Instagram and Twitter, and then Facebook is DJ J Buttah fan page, and my website is jbuttahbeats.com, and my Instagram for my beat page is jbuttahbeats.
All right, man. Well, you guys heard it here. You guys can follow him. Please check him out. Jay, I definitely appreciate your time and the knowledge that you was kicking today. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys again for watching another episode of Close the Gap. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Share to those people that you feel definitely may benefit from. And from there, peace.
Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Please smash that like button down below. The more likes this video gets, the more YouTube spreads this out for more people can see it. I do want to take the time to thank EMS, all our healthcare nurses, all our sanitation workers, truck drivers, grocery store employees, and everybody else on the front line out there taking care of us and our families. We appreciate you. Again, please hit that like button. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.